show, we'd like you all to know that we're very, very thankful that you're here. That we can leave you feeling numb, but now the week is almost done. So open up those big old hearts and open up your ears, 'cause there's a special delivery for all you special freaks and norms and nerds. Oh, there's a special delivery of things that you'll be happy that you heard. Cool. Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to do, it's the month of Elizabeth Cotten's birthday. Fan? Yeah, she's great. She's like the best finger picker I've heard. She plays her guitar upside down. She played her guitar upside down. And just wrote, some really killer tunes. Freight train runs so fast. Freight train runs so fast. Don't tell them what train I'm on. They won't know what route I'm gone. When I'm dead and in my grave, no more good times here I crave. Lay a stone at my head and feet and tell them all that I've gone to sleep. When I die, Lord, bury me deep, way down on Old Chestnut Street, so I can hear that old number 9 as the train comes rolling by. Freight train runs so fast. Freight train runs so fast. Don't tell them what train I'm on. They won't know what route I'm gone. Don't tell them what train I'm on. They won't know what route I'm gone. Cool. Thank you. The next one is called it's called Roll Another Number for the Road. It's a Neil Young song. It's too dark to put the keys in my ignition. and the morning sun is yet to climb my hood ornament. But before too long I might see those flashing red lights. Look out, mama, 'cause I'm coming home tonight. I think I'll roll another number for the road. I feel able to get under any load. My feet aren't on the ground. I've been standing on the sound of some open-hearted people going down. I'm not going back to Woodstock for a while, though I long to hear that lonesome hippie smile. I'm a million miles away from that helicopter day. No, I don't think I'll be going back that way.
Thanks, buddy. Hey, Doug, how you been?
I've been okay. I've been better, frankly.
Yeah, me too. I always forget that winter's super cold and depressing, and it happens every year, and I forget.
It's the best.
Yeah, it really is. It reminds you that you're going to die one day. Just the moment you step outside and it just like hits your face, you're like, oh, life is futile and finite.
Agree.
Yeah. So we're both kind of in a similar boat right now, which is we're trying to learn entire careers in like a very condensed period of time. Mm-hmm. You're in a programming boot camp, That's and right. I'm studying to be a tax preparer. How you liking it so far?
It's easier than playing music. It's it's very logical, which is fine. And it's very easy to avoid all of your emotions.
Yeah, I kind of like that part. You studied math in college, right?
That's right.
This is probably revealing how little I know about the world we live in. Does computer programming involve math?
Sort of.
They're right-brained things, though, correct? Like it's very much about how you organize things and how accurately you're able to condense information.
Yeah, it's logical, and there's not a lot of heart and soul.
Yeah, and there's like definitive right and wrongs.
There's good and bad.
That's even better than right and wrong. Because it's on the spectrum.
Sure.
I like it. Well, I personally, I just like love the tyranny of math where there's like an answer and all I need to do is know it. And then I get rewarded by not being punished. Mm-hmm. It's pretty great. This doesn't really tie into our next guest all that well, but he needs to get up here anyway. So I'd really like to introduce our guest on the show. He's Brett Davis. He runs The Special Without Brett Davis that is sometimes starring him, increasingly more starring him. He's a comedian from New York, originally from New Jersey. You've been on his show.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you like it?
Yes, I loved it.
Yeah, hell yeah. Bright answer, man. Anyway, let's welcome Brett up to the stage. You can take whichever mic you want. So, Brett, thank you for being on.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I've actually been aware of your work for a very long time because we were fans of The Best Show growing up.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, The Best Show, formerly The Best Show on WFMU, is a weekly 3-hour-long talk show, talk and music, but mostly talk, that kind of ambiently features a comedy performance where one member of this comedy duo will call up and pretend to be a caller, and they will banter back and forth in a way that kind of like weaves in and out of improv and scripted performance. When I was growing up, Brett used to call into this show. We were both probably members of a loosely affiliated group of teenage boys that would call into this show.
Okay. I didn't know you called in.
Yeah, I wasn't as good as you. See, that's the thing. You don't remember. You had a character that you eventually turned into a movie you made in college, correct? Mm-hmm. One of the things that's really impressive about your relationship to The Best Show is you took this thing that you did in high school, and you really like threaded the line into what you're doing now pretty consistently. You took your character and you kept it going through college, and then you made a short film called Bananas.
Yes.
Wait, was that the name of the short film, or was that just the name of the character?
That was the name of the short film, yeah. Bananas, all caps, 3 Z's.
Do you want to describe this a little bit more for people who might not know about Bananas?
Yeah, I'd say we made it around 2010 when bands had all caps and 3 Z's, or 2 V's, or, there's actually a band called Black Bananas with 2 Z's. That came out right after we made the movie. But yeah, this was, I was living in a sort of a punk house in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and I'd see these like dudes that grew up in Princeton and, cut the sleeves off their t-shirts and, would get piss drunk at shows and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's a really interesting archetype. And I made it's a mockumentary where it's this guy trying in the least DIY way to make a just garage rock punk band, whatever you want to call it. And then we took the fake band to South by Southwest and used whatever connections we had to make it seem as if they were a buzzworthy band, despite having never played a show. And we did some showcases and interviews. We were on MTV. We did a lot of bullshit. Yeah.
Do you think people got it?
Well, when we finally did the show, we played about 30 seconds of a song that was kind of like the worst Dead Kennedys ripoff you've ever heard. And
the Dead Kennedys also are the worst Dead Kennedys ripoff
you've ever heard. This is true. It was pretty much the beginning of a long spoken word monologue, and then I just start to break down and have a panic attack. And I know people understood that I was having a panic attack, and then I ran off. But I don't think people in the interviews and stuff, unless they were like clued in, could really tell what the difference between people pretending to be shitty, self-indulgent musicians or the real deal. It was fun. I mean, the goal was so that me and my friends could find a reason to go to South by and get into shows without having passes. But
was that the personal goal of starting that project?
Yeah. No. It was a longer project than that, but yeah. I had done the character on The Best Show who, was the saddest, most depressed and delusional rapper ever. And I was like, I cannot be the next MC Paul Barman. I don't want to be known as this novelty rapper. So staying in the realm of music, that seemed like the next logical step.
So, one of the things that I really liked about the Best Show is they introduce the fictional elements of the show very gradually. If you've never listened to the show, when you first start listening to it, it just sounds like a call-in talk show, and then you'll notice like this thing's a little weird. The callers have a weird relationship to this show. The host has a very like obtuse persona, and there's never a moment where it's clearly fiction. It just slowly, you realize that parts of it are fiction, parts of it are sincere, and then there's like this big gray area in the middle that is kind of just like art, for lack of a better term. Some of it not that good. That is probably my calls, and some of it a little bit better, which were your calls. You had pretty good calls. If the goal is for people to think you were doing something in total sincere earnesty and having a panic attack because of it, when you are actually not, at what point do you feel appreciated for having done the thing you tried to do? Because if you do the thing you set out to do, which is create a fake band that everyone believes is a real band, and then having a panic attack, which everyone thinks is a real panic attack, and if that's the thing that you did, if you did it right, the only people who know are yourself and your two friends. Yeah.
Well, in a perfect world, I think that those instances are building blocks for a larger thing. The first time I ever did that character, his name was Craig Evan Halen, the guy from Bananas.
That's a great pick name, by the way.
Yeah. My friends were putting... They had a show house, and they all these tweens started showing up at like 5 p.m. for a show, and they realized they had unknowingly booked Billy Joe Armstrong's son's band. And it was like, oh, all these kids are at their first punk show, so I just dressed up like it was my first punk show too, and tried to fit in with all the kids. And yeah, that was like just to entertain my friends, even though they were, 5% of the room. And I before they went up, that band, I did a spoken word piece about phonies. And
wait, pro or con?
Con. Okay. But it directed almost entirely to Billy Joe's son, who's like 14 years old. And,
I'm sure that affected him in no way.
Yeah. And then like some mom came up to me afterwards and was just like, I needed to hear that. I work at a job and I feel like a slave. And I was like, cool. And that was interesting that she got something out of it that we didn't. But yeah, with like Bananas and doing that show, it's like, yeah, that's not a complete performance. I think when you see the movie and the story behind this guy's breakdown and the fact that 3 months later he's now a raver kid, I think that's maybe the full picture.
The only thing about that isn't that realistic is it's noise musicians who become ravers, not punks.
He was a bit of a noise musician, art punk. He crossed boundaries. I have to say also, The Tyranny of Math sounds like the name of a Mars Volta record.
Oh, I hate that band. I hate that band.
And follow-up question, is that a Mars Volta record?
It is not.
Okay.
It is not.
Is that a saying?
No, it just came into my head.
The Tyranny of Math. Can I use that?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. So what was the bridge between you hanging out at a punk house with your friends, making fun of the people who were paying your friends to be there, and where you are now, which is you host a public access show that showcases dozens of local comedians?
Yeah. So, I mean, I being at that punk house, I would often open for bands, and friends would have me, and I would do things either that were more overtly comedy or more the thing you described. And eventually that trajectory led me just to really start doing comedy. kind of through the back door because I still do only characters on stage. And I think other people that do that have gone through maybe like a UCB system, or it's like the Upright Citizen Brigade Theater. They like, train people to be on SNL. It's like SNL college. And I didn't want to do that, but I kind of found my way through, people that had, their foot in both worlds. We were just talking about Twin Sister before. They kind of have that. And, I think I did shows of like their friends, and, the ball kept rolling, and I found like-minded weirdos in the world of comedy.
Was there a moment when you started to want your comedy to be a thing that the audience was included on?
Yeah, I mean, day one, but I think it's like some people are maybe not going to get the joke, or some people.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm not saying that there was ever a point where you wanted nobody to get the joke, but going from somebody who calls into a show in character to being somebody who's in a fake band that most people don't know is fake, to being somebody who has a show named after them that does multiple characters on the show, you have broadened the audience of people who you want to understand that the show is real.
Theoretically, yeah. I think a lot of that has to just... Oop.
Sorry, ignore me. Keep going.
Yeah, a lot of that has to do with just the fact that I've kind of put it all together into a package, and it's not just weird things that pop up here and there. And by necessity, it can all just be attacks on people's patience.
Yeah, unfortunately. So an average episode of your show has probably about half a dozen different comedians on it doing different characters. And you've also, I think, you just broke like the 150 episode mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been doing it since 2000. Yeah, fucking clap. That's good. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you. That sucks, right? If I just like really lean into that.
Yeah. Well, you didn't bow yet, so
well,
we can save that for later.
I'll bow if I get another applause break.
What goes into the making of an individual episode?
Yeah. So it's comedy and music, and sometimes a talk show sort of format if we throw a person in there. It's hard to say where we start because we start from different points. Sometimes we'll have a nugget of an idea. Like, for instance, one time I was like, I'm really into watching YouTube videos of Mike Love from the Beach Boys. So I kind of want to do a Mike Love themed episode because I don't think that exists anywhere else, an hour of comedy about Mike Love. And then I will reach out to like-minded comics, depending on what the theme is. Sometimes it's broader, sometimes it's very specific. We have music bookers that, kind of search far and wide for good bands that are either coming through or local bands. We have people that, kind of are looking at who's in town or, who's a weird New Yorker that...
What's like the core writing team like, though? Is it just you or...
It's me and my longtime collaborator, Darren Mabey, who has a show on WFMU now, ironically. And he was part of a band called We Are the Seahorses like 10 years ago. And if you read Brooklyn Vegan in like 2007, he was... always on there is the man guy or Beans. Just a big fat dude with a beard that would dress up at shows and
no clothes.
And dress up and then
so
dress
much
down.
Dressing
yeah.
up, but
well, he'd start out with a pretty decent costume.
Yeah, I mean, it was like an ensemble, but
yeah, but he was kind of like this chaotic force, and I had a similar thing going, so we matched up and.
So it's mostly you and him coming up with each episode?
And then, I'll just find a comic I like and I'll collaborate with them. Occasionally, I'll just totally hand them the baton and let them kind of sort a show out themselves and then just be part of that. But
How do you balance? Because it's an hour long. Not every week, because there are certain times you'll take off for a little bit. But it's I'd say you probably do an episode like 3/4 of the year, or at the very least half of a year. You're doing a new episode.
I'd say
each week.
way more than half a year. We usually would take like a week off here and there, but we've been pretty consistent. I think this past year is the first year we really started taking breaks.
Yeah. So you're doing 60 minutes of new stuff every week on television. How much of when you're doing the show are you trying to highlight yourself? How much of it is you trying to be like, this person's really good, I got to get them on? Or how much of it is just like, who has something this week?
I mean, it's not really something I think about too much. If we're doing an episode like Mike Love, or there's one week where I was really into a specific Rod Stewart interview where he just talks about how many times he's shagged. I was like, well, that's got to be an hour of TV. Although we have also merged it with an episode based on Hellraiser, so he winds up in some like sexual purgatory. So yeah, that'll be one that features me more. But you know, if somebody else is funny and it's more their voice, you know.
Is there a reason why you've been on the show as yourself more lately than in the past?
I think it's just to differentiate. We did a new season, and I had been doing a podcast called The Podcast for Laundry, which is sort of like a parody of niche podcasts. Like, oh, we talk about hamburgers.
That podcast, by the way, because a lot of the times what you'll do is you'll either start with an absurd premise that will just escalate and escalate and escalate until the end. And then the other time you'll do something like the Mexican standoff episode where it starts with an absurd premise and you stick to it very thoroughly throughout the entire time. The podcast about laundry is about laundry. It's been around for 2 years. It is consistently about laundry. There are elements that you change it throughout but it's if you listen to the first episode and the last episode, that is a podcast about laundry.
I think if I was to sum it down to one thing, it's a guy whose life is truly falling apart, but he is insistent that he continues this laundry podcast.
Why do you say it's about a guy? Because you're playing yourself in that.
I'm playing myself, but in my personal life, as compared to the Brett Davis of the Podcast for Laundry, I've not been to prison. I've not murdered a homeless man in like bloodlust. I'm not homeless. I've not stalked celebrities. I have not worked for the mob. So those are all things that Brett Davis does that I don't. And I also don't really care about laundry, but I've had to do a lot of research. So I know a lot. If anyone has any questions, I can open up the floor to tinfoil gets rid of static. Just roll a tinfoil ball.
Why do you do characters?
I think I don't really like being me. This is maybe the most uncomfortable I'll be on a stage. It's just me talking about myself. Because I don't think I'm that interesting. Sorry, everybody.
For somebody who agreed to come on a show and talk on stage into a microphone about themselves, you have to think you're interesting to some degree.
Well, it's stage time, and I don't have to like carry around a big costume bag. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I think I like getting lost in a different person. I think there's, especially as like a straight white dude, like you don't need to hear my opinions about most things, even though you're hearing them now. Like, but I can sort of portray a shittier dude, hopefully shittier, and sort of point out hypocrisy about people. Like I did last week, I did an episode as Chris Hardwick, who is like weirdly the one guy that escaped being Me Too'd because, you know, he's married to the heir to the Hearst company, you know, riches, and, you know, his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife or something called him out, and like he got fired, and then he got just immediately rehired and like sort of scot-free. And I'm like, well, I look kind of like Chris Hardwick if I put a wig on, and
one of the things I think is interesting about what you do is you have only done character-based stuff. You have done stand-up, but it's always as a character, as some version of yourself.
Yeah.
Do you ever see a time in which that's not what you're doing?
No, I mean, I think that just goes back to, I don't think my personal life is interesting. I think there are some people that can make that into really great content, but I think, most of that's just this guy's. So I've been thinking about this guy who I've made fun of on the show, Sebastian Maniscalco. He is just like the most like your mom's favorite comedian ever, and he just sold out like
MSG
four times. It's unbelievable. And then you like watch. I'm like, well, this guy's got to be something. And then it's like, you ever go to Chipotle? How do you even say it, Chipotle? And like he just talks about like, what is
my mom
a
does say
burrito?
Chipotle.
Yeah. She probably likes Sebastian Maniscalco.
She does.
There you go. And then and not to discredit what he does. It's just like, it's been done, and good. He's good at it, and good that your mom has a new favorite comedian. But like, I don't need to share my opinions on Chipotle because I think I'm.
But you are sharing your opinions about certain types of people.
Yeah, this is true.
And do you think it's always like best to do it in character, or?
I think there's not to get too heady, but I think character implies if I'm playing a real person, there's like an implication of satire happening there, and you can kind of get away with more, craziness if you're kind of not in your own skin. So yeah, I think that's more interesting, but that's just for my stuff. I think other people do it really well as themselves, and
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on. Can we actually give him a round of applause so he bows?
Yeah. Oh my god. That's
This is for you, man.
I have to bow.
This has never happened in another episode before. Oh God. He's humble too. He didn't want to do that.
Should I go out? Should I shake everyone's hand?
No. There's more than a dozen people here for the first
shake
time.
everybody's hand.
Oh, God. Doug, you want to come up and play more songs?
So I'm gonna. This is a song. This is one of my songs that I wrote. A bar on my dress. Now I'm barfing in the bathroom. She smiles as she holds back my hair. You're a boy in a man's suit. How on earth do I love you, and how can I leave you like this? Lord, give an elbow to my heart. It sounds strange, but I need one tonight, so it don't break on the corners of this frigid love. I'm too fucking wasted to fight. She puts a kiss on my forehead. She walks over to the doorway, and I smile. She's seen my true face. I'm no lover, I'm no artist, just a drunk man in a sundress on the floor, and the toilet's embrace. Lord, give an elbow to my heart. It sounds strange, but I need one tonight, so it don't break on the corners of this frigid love. I'm too fucking wasted to fight. Okay, this is the last song I'm gonna do. So like Jordan mentioned, I've been learning how to do computers for the past couple months, and I just realized a couple days ago that I no longer have the calluses on my fingers to play guitar. This is a sad feeling for me. And then I remembered this song, which is by Lucinda Williams. I think I lost it. Let me know if you come across it. Let me know if I let it fall along a back road somewhere. Money can't replace it, no memory can erase it, and I know that I'll never find another one to compare. Give me some love to fill me up. Give me some time, give me some stuff, give me a sign, give me some kind of reason. Are you heavy enough to make me stay? Feel like I might blow away. I thought I was in heaven, but I was only dreaming. I think I lost it. Let me know if you come across it. Let me know if I let it fall along a back road somewhere. Money can't replace it, no memory can erase it, and I know that I'll never find another one to compare. I just wanna live the life I please. I don't want no enemies. I don't want nothing if I have to fake it. Never take nothing, don't belong to me. Everything's paid for, nothing's free. If I give you my heart, will you promise not to break it? I think I lost it. Let me know if you come across it. Let me know if I let it fall along a back road somewhere. Money can't replace it, no memory can erase it. And I know that I'll never find another one to compare. Money can't erase it, no memory can replace it. And I know that I'll never find another one to compare. Thanks, everyone. Next coming up is Lily of Palberta. Thanks for coming.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm good. I got guys stuck. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Thank you, everyone who performed and talked and interviewed. It was good and great. It's a special day today, but I can't tell you why. It's very special, though. Turn me into a pest. I like the way you hold it. And though I'm not impressed, neither are you. I think you second guessed it. What the hell did you expect? I'm on another plane, watching the wind blow in my face. What the hell did you expect? The ice is still there. Did you expect? I'm on another plane, watching the wind blow in my face. Who the hell brought you here? What the hell? Who the hell brought you here? What the hell? Who the hell? It's still there. Who the hell brought you here? What the hell? If I choke, it's because of the ice. You're right. It's you holding my side while I sit opening the day, opening the day, opening again and again. I find no one is like you. The morning breaks you, but it entertains you. Hold me, I'm your doll. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. The morning breaks you. It's perfectly normal. You're open. see faith a ship tossed aside. I see faces of you all the time. And I begin to wonder, why would I do that? I wanna have a good time. Why would I have to let you know? I wanna have a good time now. I wanna have a good time. Why would I have to let you know? I wanna have a good time now that you're gone, and the memory's so slow. Why would I do that? That's the end of that one. You don't have to clap that. I have a band with Ani and this guy Dan called the Magical Lily Band, where there's keyboards and bass and sometimes drums on the keyboards, and it's really fun. We're playing February 18th. Come to the Glove. Was that correct? It isn't about the way you talk or about the way that you get down. All that I know is I'm starting to cry. Oh yeah, and I need this now. Summer in the city. I need summer in the city. Oh yeah, and summer in the city. I need summer in the city. Oh yeah, and I need this now. The crucial part is why I'm here. This is not the way I learned to talk, while listening to the sound of my voice. Oh yeah, I forgot my thought. Summer in the city. I like the way you talk to me. I need summer in the city. Oh yeah, and summer in the city. I like the way you talk to me. I need summer in the city. Oh yeah, and I need this now. Thank you very much. When I found it hard to relax, I fixed myself and then I'm okay. And then I punched my brother. I have a better day. Sneaking out on the town. I'm sneaking out on the town. I'm sneaking out on the town. I'm sneaking out on the town. Lost the pig. Running in a circle. At best a number 3 on my grave. It isn't understanding. That's what you really mean. I can see that, and I can see that. I can see that, and I can see that. The rest is in the circle. Who do I blame for this now? If I do it, I do it for you. Man alive, I'm alive, I'm alive by myself. I survive and you know it. What time is it? 8:10. Okay, I think I did it. I'm gonna skip one. Talking is free. Hey, I like the way you talk to me. Hey, I like the way you. Hey, I like the way you talk to me. Hey, I like the way you. Talk around me. I didn't ask you to be quiet, hey. Hey, I like the way you talk to me. Hey, I like the way you. Hey, I like the way you talk to me. Hey, I like the way you. Thank you. This is a cover. And it's also by Lucinda. But I don't know the chords that well. Is it too much to ask? I want a comfortable bed that won't hurt my back. Food to fill me up and warm room and all that stuff. Shouldn't I have this? Shouldn't I have this? Shouldn't I have all this? And passionate kisses. Passionate kisses. Whoa. Passionate kisses from you. Is it too much to demand? I want a full house and a rock and roll band. Pens that won't run out of ink and cool, quiet, and time to think. Shouldn't I have this? Shouldn't I have this? Shouldn't I have all this? And passionate kisses. Passionate kisses. Whoa. Passionate kisses from you. Do I want too much? Am I going overboard to want to touch? Shout it out to the night. Give me what I want, 'cause it's my right. Shouldn't I have this? Shouldn't I have this? Shouldn't I have all this? And passionate kisses. Passionate kisses. Whoa. Passionate kisses from you. Thank you. Okay, I have two more. Is two more okay? Just got other. Roses, it don't matter to me. It's alright for me to get old, older. What did I try to say? What did I try to say? Hold you like a dead fish, a canary who's dying while I cry. Why do I even try? Why does it hurt to lie? Why does it hurt me to lie? I used to be so good at that. Focus on it, don't try for them, just bend here to dead. Why do I need a friend? Why do I need protection? I used to be so good at boys. Okay, one more song, but I have to remember how to play it. Okay, let's hope. In holy water, you put your face in your hands to forget. It started off as a joke to me, has become my friend. How will I know I'll be your girl? I'll be your girl. How will I know I'll be your girl? I'll be your girl forever. In holy water, I kiss the stones on the floor of regret. The times before that thing I did are the ones I love. Oh. Be quiet, I'm your girl. I'm your girl. Don't talk loud, I'm a bee, I'm a tree. Thank you. And that's the end of the show, I think. Thanks for the guitar.